Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are continuing our TryHackMe SQHell walkthrough. This is the last video in the series. And in this part, we are going to retrieve the last flag. Although just I mentioned, I'm not following the order of the room. Also, as I mentioned before, in this SQL series, I will not use SQLMap. I want to manually understand and demonstrate each SQL injection technique step by step. For this flag, we are going to look at a very interesting injection point. Okay, so without further ado, let's head over to Kali Linux VM. Let me close Bubble Suite for now and start from the fresh. Actually, we can get hints for this video from the terms and conditions. As you can see over here, we lock your IP address for analytics purpose. So maybe how do I put it? The server locks our IP address for analytics purpose, and usually in the real world web application or real world web environments, users do not connect directly to the web server. The traffic may pass through something like load balancer, proxies, like CDNs, proxies, servers. And because of this, the web server may only see the IP address of the proxy or load balancer, not the real client IP. So in order for the server to preserve the original client IP address, many systems use headers like xforward 4. Okay? I believe I have already demonstrated this header many times, but I'd like to go through it here again. What's the problem? Maybe yes. So x forwarded 4. So this header field is common method for identifying the originating IP address of a client connecting to a web server through an HTTP proxy or load balancer. Okay? So also as a hint left by this room, web server will lock IP address of a client for analytics purpose. So, the maybe backend query will look like this one. Like insert into the table name like logs and IP address and the values. For example, our real value. Also, for example, like localhost, it doesn't matter. And if the application does not sanitize this header properly, and we may be able to inject SQL code into the header. Okay? And this is exactly what we are going to do, what we are going to test here. Okay? So how to test? We need to launch Bubble Suite. Bubble Suite. And next, start Bob Suite. And we can make the window to be larger. So at the top, we can navigate to Proxy tab and enable intercept option. So now we can access the home page one more time. And then the request has been captured by Bob Suite. We can send this request to repeater module. And then we can, at the top, we can navigate to repeater module. At this moment, you can see over here, there isn't X forwarded for header field. Okay, so how to do? We can manipulate these request headers by adding a new key value pair, X forwarded for, and we can put like localhost or any IP address, not the real client IP address. So now we can send it. You can see at this point, the request should still behave normally. So now the question is whether we can inject SQL into this header. I mean, this part. How to do? We can put the, usually when we test SQL injection point, we can put the single quote in the end and send it. However, this time, we may not see database errors or output directly on the page. So this is, we can call it blind SQL injection. And we need to utilize the we utilize time-based SQL injection to perform blind injection. Okay, so I mean, instead of asking the database to show us the actual data, we ask the database to delay the response. So we can utilize the function of sleep. Okay, for example, like the sleep for like 10 seconds. Okay, so how to test or how to detect SQL injection? And we need to try different payloads. For example, we can try this one. And select from. Okay, and we can have another select. And sleep like 5 seconds. 5 seconds, okay? And we can put like any name, like ABC. And we can put another and to 1. And so now let's break it down. We can copy and put in here. Send it. Oh, but we got a response almost immediately. This means the sleep function was not executed as we expected. There'll be something wrong with our payload. Okay, so and so select. Oh, sorry, I forgot to put the single. here, send it. Yes, this time, try to get a response, and this request this time behaves differently. Okay, but before we do that, before we go ahead, I'd like to break down the payload here. And this one, the first single quote is to close the original quote in the SQL query. Would be like this one. For example, like okay, like this one. Let me go back. And next we have the AND operation. So if this is true, and also the second the true, we have two AND operation. And this forces the database to sleep for 5 seconds, and then followed by the random word like ABC. This is just an alias for the temporary subquery table. It's not a real table in the database. Okay, and finally we add the last part. This just make the circle syntax valid. All right, because the page waits around 5 seconds before responding, and we can know indeed the X forwarded for header is vulnerable. And in this room, you can see that yes, it indeed works. So now we have confirmed the injection point. This should be based on our analysis. Okay, and also we got help from the hint of this room. Okay, so now, although we have already detected injection point, next we need to extract data. But the problem is this is blind SQL injection, because the page does not directly print the database result for us. Also no error. Okay, I think in the part 2 or part 3 we utilize some the techniques like union select, and also like Boolean based SQL injection, but this time in this case both cannot work, and we need to utilize the time based SQL injection. Okay, so now we can use as we know, the flag consists of 43 characters, and if you manually test one by one, retrieve character one by one, this will be very time consuming. Instead, we can use the Python to automate this process. To save time of this video, I've already coded it. Okay, so very similar to the part 2 or part 3, I cannot remember very clearly. So we can create the character as set, and then we can initialize the flag variable, and then we can have 2 for loops, okay, or inner for loop. And here, very similar. So sleep force the database to wait 4 seconds before responding. And where, we utilize the substring, where, this position, the character in this position is equal to the character, and we get the character or iterate the character set, okay? And unlike before, we need to utilize the time difference, so we can get the start time and end time. If the gap or difference is larger than 4 seconds, and then we can know indeed the character is found successfully, and then we can concatenate all characters Okay, so I think you can run it, but this will take time, I think. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I'd like to see you next in the next one. Bye. Have a good day, please.